I gotta start packing for Chicago here. I leave in the morning in like 8 a.m. in the morning or something like that. I'm heading to Chicago for the Chicago Marathon. My girlfriend Victoria, she got sponsored by Nike to run the Chicago Marathon, so we're gonna go ahead and out do that. But I checked the weather and it's raining, so I need to get some plastic bags and I really need some coffee or some caffeine so I can make it through packing without taking a huge giant power nap because I'm a child. Now, it's not that I hate packing, I just always bring way too much stuff.
Make 7 up yours. Make 7 up yours. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Make 7 up yours, baby.
And the problem with your bag being too heavy is that, you know, you always take extra stuff and you gotta deal with having to pay extra bag fees. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. But like I mentioned before, I have to go to Chicago anyway and photograph the marathon, but I figured I would show you what I pack when I'm going on a trip, especially with all my camera gear. Alright, so I travel a lot. Not like a crazy ton, but enough to know what I need and what I don't need. But I figured, you know, as an instant photographer, I'd show you what I'm gonna be taking with me, especially for this trip. Again, the most frustrating thing about this whole trip is that it's supposed to be thunderstorming, like 80% chance thunderstorms. But anyway, okay, the first thing I'm gonna show you that's in my setup is going to be my camera, because actually at the moment I'm filming this on my iPhone because I'm going to show you. This is my camera. It's my main shooter. It's a Canon 70D, and I have the extended battery grip on it that lets me hold, you know, 2 batteries. What I've come to find out is that when you're using a really, really long lens, which I'm gonna show you here, it can get really, really heavy. And for me, I get pain in my hands if you're having to hold, you know, just this part of the camera for a really, really long time. So that's why I have the battery grip on there. The reason why I have the 70D, I used to have the Canon 5D Mark III, and it was a beautiful, amazing full frame camera. I loved it. The detail in the camera, nothing better. But when I started making YouTube videos again, I really wanted something that had, like, you know, flip out screen and face tracking and the Wi-Fi capability. So when I was actually out shooting different things, whether I was shooting for a brand or shooting for a hotel, I would actually be able to, you know, drop them photos right from my camera to my phone with that capability, edit them real quick on the fly and send them, so that way I could give them photos in real time while I was actually on the job with them. So yeah, Canon 70D, it's a workhorse of a camera. It's not gonna break the bank, and it's great if you want a camera that's gonna be used for all around. Okay, talked about the body, good to go there. I'll go through my lenses that I'll take with me along on this trip, from largest and heaviest to the smallest. The first is going to be the Canon 70-200 2.8. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite lenses, and it's pretty much essential for shooting events like marathons, especially if you don't have a press or immediate pass. The focal length on this lens is going to allow you to get super close in on whoever you're photographing without having to be right up on them. So me trying to move around the marathon venue in the event, this is crucial for me being able to get sharp images without having to be right up on whoever I'm taking photos of. So yeah, but it does add some weight to the bag, I'm not gonna lie. This is by far the heaviest lens that I have in my kit. It's heavier than my camera that I'm filming this on right now, with the battery pack on it, with 2 batteries loaded in it, with the microphone on top. So keep that in mind when you are taking this lens, because it's definitely going to add some weight. This is my Canon Zoom EF 17-40mm f4 lens. It's a super wide angle lens and I love it. It's perfect, I mean perfect for street photography. Whenever I'm in a new city, I love just hopping on foot, putting this on my camera and going out and getting some photos of the city that I'm at. This is a perfect lens if you want to do shots of skyscrapers and bridges and things like that, and it's perfect for Chicago, so it's essential in my kit. The last lens that I bring with me is my Canon 10-18mm super wide lens. It's made out of plastic, it's super light. I only use this lens when I am vlogging with my camera that I have set up on this tripod now. So one of the cool things about this lens is the price point is right, and it's pretty much essentially made of all plastic minus the actual lens. And you know, usually you would equate that to a cheap lens, but for a vlogging lens, it's absolutely perfect. You're not gonna be dealing with your arm burning and your forearms burning while you're vlogging with this thing. This thing is so light, it's just a dream. Now, the instant camera that I am taking with me on this trip is my XX70 Sonar. It is perfect. And one of the reasons that it's perfect is because it's extremely packable. This thing doesn't take up hardly any room in my bag. I can literally slide it down and I don't have to worry about it being like a square like most Polaroids are. And that's what's frustrating, is when you're trying to take a Polaroid with you, you got to figure out how it's going to fit into your kit, and do you want to keep it out? This, it's so discreet and it's perfect. With it folded, with it collapsed, again, it takes up very, very little room in my bag, and I don't have to worry about it being in the way. Now, when it comes to film, I am packing a pack of Polaroid Originals XX70 film, and it is the only film that will go inside this camera. And I usually buy my film before I travel. But a big question that is always asked is, can this film or the other Polaroid Originals film go through X-ray machines? And the answer is technically yes. If you look up on their website, they tell you that all of their film is rated lower than an ASA 800, which would also be the equivalent of an ISO 800 when you're talking about film. But all of their film, no matter what it's the SX70, the I-Type, or the 600 film, it's all rated lower than that. So it should be unaffected by modern, new X-ray equipment that's at airports. It's the older X-ray equipment that is actually putting out a lot more rays into whatever it is scanning that could be damaging. So if you're unsure, always ask a TSA agent. They're usually really, really friendly. And if you're just completely worried about it in general, you can always, always, always ask for a hand inspection. What you'll do is you'll put everything in your bin and you'll go through the whole process like you normally would. Take out whatever you want scanned by hand. So whether that's a brand new unopened pack of film, or you have a partially used pack of film actually loaded into a camera, I would recommend taking that out, sending everything else through the X-ray machine, and then when you finally do get to speak to somebody, say, hey, so I have some film here and I have some film in my camera and I'm requesting this be hand screened. What they usually do is they radio somebody and they'll essentially take the items that you want scanned. They will walk them around any X-ray machine. They'll have you walk through the X-ray machine, and then what they'll do is they'll take this wand that has a swab, and they'll usually swab your hands. They'll swab the unopened film and they'll swab the camera. They take that out and they stick it in this super cool machine that checks for any type of explosive devices, any type of illegal narcotics. You get a reading back that says bling, green, you get the green check mark, you're good to go, and it usually takes no longer than 5 minutes. So that's what I would recommend when you're traveling with film. Rapid fire to finish up what I take with me. I usually take a 35mm camera with me. This is my Leica C1, and with this camera, I love taking it while I travel. One, because it's a Leica, and the detail that this thing has in this tiny little point and shoot is amazing. But one of the things that I usually do is, because I'm shooting color with pretty much my digital photos and my Polaroid camera, I usually like to load up black and white film into here. So I have right now the Ilford 3200 professional film in here. It's the most expensive film that I buy for the 35mm, but it's probably my favorite film when I take. But I always take a camera that's got black and white film loaded in, just to give me some variety. And what's cool about this guy is I get pretty close to the action right there. Yeah. So yeah, it's my favorite. I take this little guy. This is like a little LED light, and it's cheap, it's light, it's GVB gear. You can find it on Amazon. It's not really expensive, and it attaches onto either the setup that I have here, or I can lock it off on a tripod somewhere else. But it's light and it doesn't take up much space. But if you're in a pinch and you need to light something for a vlog, or you want to shoot a little impromptu video with your iPhone, or go live, stream live on Instagram, whatever you may be, it's perfect. And again, with it being a square shape, I can just slide it into my bag. Playing cards, you gotta have playing cards with you if you get stuck in an airport or if your flight is delayed or whatever it may be, it's nice to have a deck of cards to help you pass the time. Find some people, talk to some people, or if you're flying with some people, play whatever. Poker, go fish. It's just nice to pass the time. And then last but not least, I have an SD card holder by Visual. One of my favorite photographers of all time, Stefan Vanasco. He has a brand called Visual, and if you don't know about them, definitely check them out. I will link their website below. It's a photography line, but they also do accessories from time to time. And this is, it's a all suede SD card holder. It's got 6 slots for 6 SD cards. And again, it's nice, and this outside is really, really thick, and it's weatherproof, and it's gonna keep all your SD cards stored away. Dude, this is like my favorite thing that I've ever bought for them. Now, packing all of this is great, but it would be completely pointless if it got ruined in the thundering, pouring down rain of Chicago without a good bag. So I've got the Low Pro bag. This is a sling bag, and I like the sling bags as opposed to the backpacks when I'm actually out shooting for a gig, is because I can just slide it and move it without having to undo a strap and everything like that. And this bag is set up so when you do slide it, you can have access right into the pockets and grab things that you need really, really quick. So another good feature about this is it's weatherproof. It's got these heavy duty zippers on here that create a seal. It's gonna keep water out, it's gonna keep snow out. And really, when you have that much gear and you have that much money tied up into your gear, you really wanna make sure that you're not damaging it because you put it in a crappy bag after you packed it all away. Let me know below if you have any of the things that I have in my kit in your kit. Let me hear about it. This flight was supposed to leave 10 minutes ago, so I hope we're not late to miss the connecting flight from Las Vegas to Chicago. We'll see.
The aircraft does time to complete a 6 stop at the gate, taking us off the overhead fasten seatbelt sign.
Layover.
3 hours later. Good vibration.
Okay, just got out of Midway, about to hop on the subway so we can get downtown, but it's crazy. It's like Friday night trying to get into Chicago. It's ridiculous. Just got to the room. Hotel's beautiful.